Howdy guys, Bookie Laura here. I haven't made an actual video in ages, I suppose. All I've made is book reviews, and whilst I've been pleased with them, I suppose I've been waiting for a little bit of sort of motivation to make a proper video. Well, today that motivation came, my friends, because the local library to me, the one that I absolutely love, in the nearest town, is closing down, which is devastating news. I mean, they are just refurbishing. Don't worry, don't get too excited. They're refurbishing, but they're going to be closed from now, which is the start of December, through until the start of March, which is quite a long time. But one thing that they are offering is basically that you can borrow up to 30 books until March when it reopens. Now, this was an opportunity I couldn't miss. So I went along just kind of thinking, I'll go in and see if there's a couple of books I want to pick up, because you have that sort of 3 months to read them. It feels like achievable. I don't just have to get a book that I want to read now. I can get a book that I might want to read in a month or two. And if I don't read them, it's not the end of the world. I'll just take them back and renew them or whatever. I kind of got a few more than I expected, and I didn't feel at any point that I was just picking up books because they were there. I kept just seeing books that I really wanted to read. There were a few that I got on a whim, which I think is always good to do anyway, but mostly they were books that I already knew about and wanted to read. So I call this a massive win. I got a whole bunch and my son got a whole bunch. I'm going to tell you about the ones that I picked and why, and then I will briefly show you the ones that he picked, just because I'm sure some of you are as nosy as I am and like to know these things. So these are in no order because I can't remember the order that I picked them up, but anyway. I got Counting Stars by David Almond. He wrote Skellig, which I loved, and I found it to be quite a thought-provoking and, you know, that kind of book, and I hope that this would be the same. It's not a massive read, but it's something that could be quite enjoyable. And when I read the back, it had that same sort of mystical, thoughtful, lovely vibe, so I got that. Then I picked up A Boy Called Ocean by Chris Higgins. This is just a random one. This was probably a cover one for me, that I saw the cover and went, ooh, it looks very mysterious. But there was something about the back that just, it had a sense of mystery. You know, it tells you blah, 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 these are the characters. And then Kai makes a snap decision that puts his life in great danger. And I thought, yeah, I want to know what's going down here. I also picked up The Explorer by Katherine Rundell. What did I read by her? Did she write The Wolf Wilder? No. Anyway, I've read something by her and I really enjoyed it. And now I really want to read this. It's a book, oh yeah, it was The Wolf Wilder. It's a book that has been on my radar for quite a long time because it fitted in with the topic that I taught last year, but I never actually got around to reading it. It's bigger than I expected, but I'm very excited about reading that because The Wolf Wilder is amazing. On that note, I also picked up The Light Jar by Lisa Thompson. I recently read The Goldfish Boy last year, and this, again, it's been on my radar for ages. I think this was also in one of the new release videos that I made right back at the start of the year, and I wanted to read it since then, so finally my time has come. Then I got There May Be a Castle by Piers Torday. If you didn't know, I recently saw Piers Torday at Salisbury Literary Festival, and since then I've been loving him. I'm reading one of his books to my class at the moment, but this was the one I really wanted when I met him, but he didn't have it for sale that day. So when I saw it in the library, I was like uber excited and I can't wait to read it. Then I think most of the others are pretty random, just going to put that out there, but I've got Forever by Judy Blume. I read the back and thought, oh, this actually doesn't sound like my kind of book. But I was obsessed with Judy Blume when I was younger, and it's really short, so I thought, can't go wrong really. Then I got Maybe a Fox, which is by Kathy Appelt and Alison McGee. The cover is pretty. I've always had a thing for foxes since I was little. I used to be obsessed with fox books, but the long story short is it seems that it's to do with death and what comes after. I mean, the sort of, whatever this bit's called, says, what happens after? Maybe you become a shooting star, maybe you turn into the wind, maybe a fox. And I think it's, again, that sort of spiritual, thoughtful thing that I like to read. I've picked up this massive beast of a book, which is Sleeping Beauties by Stephen and Owen King. I've been wanting to read it for ages, but never really got around to it. I love Stephen King, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it, although I will probably cry with fear. And also, Also, it's one of the fastback books, so you're not allowed to rent it from the library for very long. I think you're only supposed to have them for like a week or something, maybe 2. And I can't read a book this size in that time. But hopefully I can read a book this size in 3 months. Sticking with a big book theme, I then picked up The Knife of Letting Go by Patrick Ness, which is the first book in, I don't know, Chaos Walking? Is that the name of the series? Or is Chaos Walking book 1? I don't know. Oh. Chaos Walking trilogy. I've enjoyed Patrick Ness in the past, and this series is one that I just see every time I go to the library and think, maybe, but never get around to it. So this time I may actually get round to it. Then I've picked up To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Again, it's one I've seen on BookTube loads. I'm not sure it's 100% my style, but I've seen it loads. It looks like a quick read, and I thought, why the devil not? Somebody had it reserved as well. So when I scanned it, it said, this book is reserved, I'm afraid. And then the librarian let me have it anyway, which was very nice of her. I think today was the last day the library was open. So I think they were kind of thinking it's not going to be picked up. So I don't feel too bad. I really hope they didn't turn up to get it. And then last but not least, I picked up This Book is Gay by James Dawson. I mean, it's a cover read, let's be honest. It's beautiful, it's bold, and it just speaks about, this is going to talk about some stuff I want to read. So I don't know anything about it at all. It's about the extraordinary, unique and totally normal person as you, me, your best friend and their cousin. I have literally no idea, but why not? Why not indeed? Ooh, so those were the books I've picked up. That definitely looks like 3 months reading, hey? Really briefly, I'm going to take you through the books that my son picked up. I don't know what they're based on. I just left him while I was choosing those. And when I went back, he was like, I've got 13 books or something ridiculous. So he picked up The Cave by Rob Hodgson. Probably a cover one. He only picked up 1 picture book, so I have entirely no idea, but he obviously appealed to him. Then what have we got? We've got The Mermaid's Sister by Holly Webb. He is a massive Holly Webb fan, and as soon as I pointed out the Holly Webb books, he basically just picked them all up. But if that makes him happy, that makes him happy. So then we've also got The Hounds of Penhallow Hall, The Secrets Tree. I have no idea. But it's again by Holly Webb, and I really like the cover of this, so this might be one that I try and read to him, because it looks cool. Then we got The Curious Kitten by Holly Webb. I mean, this boy loves an animal book, and Holly Webb does animal books very well. Then we've got The Winter Wolf by, you guessed it, Holly Webb. Now we got something different. Hold your horses there. We've got Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. I mean, which young kids nowadays don't love Diary of a Wimpy Kid? So he'll fly through those. What else we got? Frost by Holly Webb. A Fox book too. Maybe we should both read our Fox books at the same time. Roderick Rules, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Say no more. Roald Dahl's The Twits. I think he's been reading a Roald Dahl book at school, and he then read recently George's Marvellous Medicine, so I think he just is into Roald Dahl, but still going with those thinner ones, which is cool, because The Twits is cool. Sam, the Wee Fat Dog. I have no idea. Then last ones we've got Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days, turning into quite the Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan. Michael Dahl's Really Scary Stories. Gee whiz. Not sure we're ready for that, but we'll see. And then Wild Friends, Orangutan Adventure. Can Emily save this baby orangutan's rainforest home? Oh. Animal stories and saving the world in one. I mean, we're on to a winner. So those are the books which I picked up. I know there aren't 30, but I literally couldn't carry any more books. I had to actually ask in the library if they had some bags I could borrow to take them home, because I already had filled all of mine. But anyway, those are the books I've got. I've got them for the next 3 months, but I'm sort of challenging myself and my son to read as many as we can before we have to take them back. So hopefully we can get through most, if not all. If you have any opinions about them and want to tell me which ones you think I should read first, that would be great, because there's an awful lot of them and I have no idea where to start. Literally no idea, but I'm fairly sure it won't be one of the big ones. We'll save them. Maybe for the holidays. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.